Okay, we are on still day 19. We're on the second half. It says circle the number in the hundredths place. So again, remember, we've got our decimal, we've got tenths place, and we've got the hundredths place. So if we're circling the number in the hundredths place, that's our answer. Number 2 says write an equation that represents the model below. Okay, remember when we learned how to do these, guys? We took our graph paper, and remember we used 2 different colors of colored pencil, and we shaded one direction, we shaded horizontally in one color, and we shaded vertically in the other color, and then whatever had both, whatever overlapped was our answer. So remember in the 5th grade, this is not 100 anymore. This represents one whole, because remember we're learning about decimals. So this is actually 100ths, right? This is like having 100 pennies. So if we're looking at this as one whole, we know that there's tenths. Each one of these is a tenth. Each one of these rows is worth a dime, okay? So if that's the case, we have 2 tenths going this way, right? And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tenths going this way. So we have 2 tenths times 5 tenths. And if we were going to multiply that, just do the basic multiplication, we would have 2 tenths times 5 tenths, again, remembering to put your decimals. Now, 5 times 2 is 10, but what do we have to do with our decimals? Well, we have one digit to the right of the decimal here. We have 1 digit to the right of the decimal here, so we have 2. So right now our decimal's at the end, but we have to move it back 2 places. So that is 1/10, or 1/10. This is the decimal, this is the fraction, because remember, every decimal has a fraction and every fraction has a decimal. So if we did this correctly, then what should be double shaded, what's overlapped, should be 1/10. Okay? Well, if that's 1/10, then that's 10 little cubes. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we do have 1/10 shaded, and that is the correct answer. Okay, number 3 says how many more cubes are needed to make a structure with the length of 3, a height of 4, and a width of 2? Well, first of all, if we have to make a structure with cubes, we know that that's going to be volume, okay? So we know we're going to have volume equals length times width times height. That's our formula, okay? So we don't know what the volume is yet, but we have all the numbers that we need, guys. We've got our 3, we've got our 4, and we've got our 2. There's the width, there's the height, there's the length. So the length is 3, the width is 2, and the height is 4. So our volume equals 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 times 4 is 24. So we know our volume is going to be 24, but that's not what the question asks. It says how many more cubes are needed to make this structure. Well, how many more tells us that we're going to be doing some kind of subtraction, okay? So we've got 24 that we need, so we got to figure out how many we already have, okay? So let's count them. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if you take this little square here away and we just counted this stack, right, we're obviously going to assume that where these are, there's some behind it because we can assume that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we've got 12 here, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So right now we have 12 plus 4, which equals 16, but it says how many more? So we've got 24 minus 16. 2 minus 1 is 1, but does our friend need help? Yes. So we're going to put a 0 and give our friend the help, and 14 minus 6 is 8. So how many more cubes are needed? We need 8 more cubes. Okay, Mr. Jackson's gross income for January was $5,890. His payroll taxes were $754.29. What was Mr. Jackson's net income? Okay, so same thing we did the other day. We've got our gross, we had to pay taxes, so what is our net? Our net is actually what we get to spend, okay? We get our net. We get our net. That's the money that we actually get in our check that we can go spend on things, okay? So if we know that we're looking for his net, then we know we're going to have to subtract, okay? So again, we're dealing with decimals. We've got 5,980. That's a whole number, so our decimal's at the end. Then we've got 754, so put your decimal first, because you know you have to line them up. Then write what's on the right of your decimal. Then go backwards and write what's to the left. So I've got a 4, and then I've got a 5, and then I've got a 7. It just helps me keep my decimals lined up. I know I'm subtracting because this is my gross and I'm looking for my net. So I'm going to add my 2 zeros. And this is where subtracting our way is really awesome because we don't have to borrow. So we've got 5 minus 0 is 5. Does our friend need help? No. So we put our 5. We've got 9 minus 7 is 2. Does our friend need help? No. So we put our 2. We've got 8 minus 5 is 3. Does our friend need help? Yes. So instead of a 3, we're going to put a 2. We're going to give that extra one to our friend. We've got 10 minus 4 is 6. Does our friend need help? Yes. So we're going to take 1 away, put a 5, give our friend the extra help. 10 minus 2 is 8. Does our friend need help? Yes. So we take 1 away, we write a 7, and 10 minus 9 is 1. We bring our decimal straight down. And again, guys, the subtraction is awesome because it's simple, it's got your little ones, it's all neat and nice. You didn't have to cross out and borrow and make some of these 10s and some of them 9s. So it just keeps everything really neat. So what was his net income? $5,225.71.